Hey there, members of the Altcoin Buzz army. So here we are, 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours after the catastrophic Bitcoin and really overall cryptocurrency crash of May 19th. And as you can see here, things are beginning to stabilize. However, I do have some reluctant optimism because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves and then fall into the bull trap. More on that in just a second. We're covering a lot of the altcoin updates because there's so much interesting stuff that's happening now, and it's been kind of unfair if you think about the altcoin capitulation that we saw over the course of these last 24 hours or so. It's just been devastating because Bitcoin made its dip down to 30K or so, and then you just had altcoins crumbling like 50, 60, 70, 80%, like just absolutely unreasonable deterioration of their price structures. It looks like they're starting to come back a little bit now, but again, we want to be cautiously optimistic. We want to stay alert. Overall, the market is back up 14.8% as I record versus 24 hours ago. That's a good preliminary sign. I asked you guys over on the main channel in the community post whether or not you feel we're still in a bull market. Specifically, I worded it, do you feel the bull market is over? A full 77% of you at the time of this recording felt that no, it is not over, indicating that we're still going to be setting new all-time highs. It's possible. We do got to be careful though, because right now there are some that are suggesting, and I do not subscribe to this mentality. However, just for the sake of getting all the information that you can right now, there are some that are subscribing to the fact that if, let's say hypothetically, we did hit a new peak in this bull cycle, then we just experienced the first of what may be multiple dips, or the first of 2 or 3 major dips, and what we're experiencing now may be this bull trap, this return to normal illusion. However, I'm not saying this is impossible, but I, like you guys, am on the side. I believe that we're still going to continue this bull market for a few different reasons. Number one, I'm not the biggest fan of chart analysis. I think that chart analysis is fine, but it has its limitations. Like, for example, chart analysis, there's no analyst out there, there's no chartist that could have predicted all the negative FUD that was coordinated from Elon Musk and then the China ban. Like, stuff like that just doesn't factor into charting. However, that being said, if you take a look at Bitcoin here over the course of, let's do the last 6 months or so. If you take a look at this kind of, I guess you could call it like a head and shoulders formation for the most part, this does not at all match the typical formation or the typical pattern that you'd see at the peak of a bull cycle or a blow off top. Going back for a moment to 2017 and 2018, you can see that there's really a much more pronounced peak that occurs at these moments of the blow off top. So we're looking here at the second or third week of December in 2017. That's kind of one reason, and I know that's not the only variable to consider. There are other variables, including the fact that just timing. We're only about a year down the line after the last Bitcoin halving. Typically, you see peaks, that are really, I think, acutely presenting themselves very clearly about 18 months down the line. So just from a timing perspective, I know that that's not like programmed into anything, but usually, if history were to be a guide, we could expect a few more months at least. There's also the fact, in my opinion, this is a very important metric here, the fact that the miners right now, let me make sure you guys can see this screen here. I'm going to get myself out of the way. The fact that miners, and we're here on cryptoquant.com, are not selling their Bitcoin. So historically, and this, by the way, is a chart on the y-axis. You see the price of Bitcoin. On the x-axis, you see timing going back to July of 2020. And the vertical bars that are coming up from the bottom represent the outflow in BTC of miners that are divesting themselves, that are selling off their Bitcoin reserves. Miners, of course, sell off their Bitcoin typically at the peak of the cycle, and we're just not seeing that. We're actually seeing relative lows versus even January and February and March. If anything, the mining outflows of Bitcoin are much less than 3 precedents that we can clearly see this year alone. So, just like the other data that we've been looking at, this is not, like the be all end all of statistics or information. There are plenty of, I think, contrarian views that would suggest, that the top could be in, depending on what you want to look at, depending on what you want to consider in terms of data. But from my perspective, that's kind of how I feel right now. So let me know what you guys think about that. There's not a clear answer right now as I record the price of Bitcoin. above $40,000, but kind of tentatively. I don't want to say that it's struggling, but look at that, now below $41,000. We got to keep an eye on this at the moment. All I'm saying is to be careful, to be alert. Things could change. Obviously, this is cryptocurrency. Things could change on a dime. Let's keep an eye on this, but let me know in the comments below where you think we're going to go next and where you think kind of ultimately this is all going to lead. I want to spend some time. This is actually going back to a video from back in March that we made on the main channel, checking out GeoDB, which is a project that we're returning to for some interesting reasons that we'll get to in just a second. This video is titled GeoDB, and the appeal of that is that you can earn money selling your data on Binance Smart Chain. So I'll link to this in the description below. However, we do have this piece right off, I guess, freshly pressed, however you want to call it, the digital equivalent of that on altcoinbuzz.io, this article by Rachel. ODIN protocol, data oracle platform for GeoDB. Open Data Interoperable Network ODIN protocol is at the forefront of structuring the world of big data. So by way of introduction, blockchain tech, I'm preaching to the choir, you guys know, is arguably one of the most innovative techs of the 21st century, as Rachel writes. This technology, however, suffers from a few drawbacks, and one such major instance is the lack of reliable, secure, and organized data sharing technology. So you can get a sense here of what the advantages are of the union, if you will, of GeoDB and ODIN. Talking about the roadmap, for example, according to reports, the ODIN protocol testnet is slated to go live next month. More details about the proposed testnet launch will be disclosed in the near future. Participants using the testnet will be required to run ODIN nodes so as to earn ODIN tokens as a reward. And here's, I should have mentioned this earlier, here's kind of the idea. ODIN will operate as a permissionless and open protocol. Permissionless because it was structured quite similarly to band protocol. Therefore, interested persons can become data providers without having to receive permission. Data providers are also in complete control of how their data can be accessed. Make no mistake, there are different projects doing different things with regards to data, with regards to how it's used. This is an innovative one in our opinion, based not only on their objectives and their ambitions, but based on their integration with Binance Smart Chain, which is certainly a winning formula these days. Check out the article in full. You can also, as a reminder, go back and check out this piece, again, from the 22nd of March. I'll link to that in the description below. In other big news here, we have Uniswap v3, the long-awaited Uniswap v3 here on Cointelegraph.com, which has overtaken SushiSwap by volume. This is a pretty big development, on track to surpass V2 this month. Going back, we've talked about how, historically speaking, the V1 to V2 transition was a massive deal for Uniswap. The V2 to V3 transition should similarly be, I think, not to project anything or promise anything, not financial advice, but the growth here should be similarly exponential. That's what the optimists are hoping for. So Uniswap v3 is now the second largest Ethereum-based decentralized exchange by volume, ranking only behind Uniswap v2. And this comes despite the fact that they're launching on the Ethereum mainnet. This happened just 2 weeks ago. Uniswap v3 has already overtaken SushiSwap to rank as the second largest Ethereum-based decentralized exchange by trade volume. Let's take a look at what Ryan Watkins had to say here over at the Masari group, at Ryan Watkins. This from yesterday. In just 2 weeks, Uniswap v3 has become the largest decentralized exchange on Ethereum, next to Uniswap v2. So it stands in good company. At its current pace of growth, it will likely surpass v2 in volume by the end of the month, or extrapolating, that's the trajectory that it's currently on. The most impressive part about it is V3 is doing so with a fraction of the capital. Yesterday, so that would have been the 18th of May, Uniswap V3 reached 81% of the volume as V2, Uniswap V2. This is all without liquidity incentives, passive LP managers, or even its soon-to-come Layer 2 deployment. You can go back and take a look at our previous coverage of Uniswap and why we feel that the transition from V2 to V3 is going to be just as big, if not bigger, as the transition between V1 and V2, which, for a quick history lesson, was monumental, was spectacular in terms of the growth. The market can crash all it wants. It can continue to crash, but these solutions, these decentralized exchanges, DeFi, all of this is here to stay. All of this is only just getting started. I have every confidence that not only V3, but this entire space is just will continue to grow gangbusters. Hayden Adams here. Crazy day in crypto. Yeah, especially for all the newbies. This from yesterday. How did Uniswap perform? Well, no downtime, unlike most centralized exchanges, although fees were high. Insane all-time high daily volume of $6.3 billion. That is crazy. Not long ago, we were reporting on the fact that, hopefully we'll come to $1 billion weekly volume soon with Uniswap. That was kind of the figure. So you're looking at nearly 7 times that amount, over 6 times that amount, $6.3 billion in yesterday's volume. That's crazy. And about $2.7 billion volume in 2-week-old Uniswap V3, which is already catching up. Only about $900 million TVL total value lock. Not too bad. Continuing, Hayden Adams. The demand and value proposition of DeFi is quite clear at this point, and so are the next steps. L1 and L2, that's layer 1 and layer 2 scaling to support more users while lowering fees. Very impressive indeed. I think Uniswap is poised to blow up along with a lot of the other DeFi providers, platforms, solutions out there in the near future. Not financial advice, but I could see it happening. Summer of DeFi version 2. For those of you that were around last year, we had that mini market pump. It's very possible. Crypto.com is in the news at Crypto.com. CTSI, Cartesi, which we featured yesterday in a video. Check that out. Exclusive campaign has kicked off. Trade CTSI in the app to win a share of the USD $100,000 prize pool at Cartesi project. Details are available on blog.crypto.com. So CTSI volume competition, USD $50,000 CTSI deposit bonus of $25,000 and CTSI first purchase bonus of $25,000, all of the token CTSI. More information here on the campaign and how to enter, how to participate is available. I will link to this in the description below. Tomochain is also in the news with this partnership, hashtag Tomochain at Relio Network. This from yesterday. Tomo will be integrated into Relio's wallet and ecosystem with private equity or real estate projects listed on Tomochain, being easily listed on Relio for fundraising and trading purposes. That write-up you can check out on medium.com. Kudos to both Tomochain and Relio Network. And then really a perennial favorite in the space, a project that was beginning to peak at about 18 and a half cents just recently, and was on track, I think, on pace to surpass its previous all-time high. And then, as is often the case, Bitcoin and the rest of crypto spoiled the party with this historic crash, but Harmony's still performing pretty well, actually. Let's do a quick refresh here. About 13 cents at the time of this recording. Okay, down a little bit, 12.3 cents, still holding up pretty nicely versus a lot of other projects. I think that's a function of the fact that, it was beginning to come up at the time of yesterday's crash. So just like a lot of other altcoins, I mean, we saw ridiculous capitulation. Harmony went down all the way to about 9.6 cents, 9.7 cents right there. So that's a 50% drop, roughly speaking. The good news is that we have here on medium.com/Harmony, the Way of Harmony DAOs. This year, the Harmony Foundation is set to kickstart multiple decentralized autonomous organizations, otherwise known as DAOs. These DAOs are fully owned by the community and will be responsible for managing up to $10 million worth of one tokens to drive decentralized governance and growth of Harmony's network, product, marketing, and more. I see many good things for Harmony and many good things for ONE's future. Check out the full article here, and not financial advice, but look, we're up, we're down. It's a volatile space right now, as I've been saying. I do expect to see new all-time highs in the intermediate future. Just my subjective, personal opinion, not financial advice. Finally, guys, we have this news. Litentry partners with Tidal Finance to integrate enhanced data security for identity-based networks. So Litentry, LIT, which is the best ticker in the industry as far as I'm concerned, LIT, LIT. They're thrilled to announce their partnership with Tidal Finance, a balancer-like insurance market that allows users to create custom insurance pools for one or more assets. This achieves a more secure environment for DeFi by powering insurance coverage for assets across chains. So guys, worst case scenario, okay, let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Worst case scenario, we do have this bull trap that's forming right now, and we see new lows. Bitcoin dips below 30K to 25K to 20 to 15 to 10. whatever the case may be. I don't think it really matters. If it continues to dip, I continue to buy. I'm not phased in that sense. Like, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. I'm never selling my Bitcoin. I'm never selling my Ethereum. Some of the altcoins I'll try to play to my advantage. Certainly, I talked the other day about how my forever holds. Okay, I'll go through my forever holds right now at the end of the video for altcoins. They are Ethereum, if you consider that an altcoin. I kind of don't. I consider that a new paradigm, a new, not to borrow from, not to borrow the terminology from this chart, but I do consider Ethereum to be the next version, the better version, the improvement of the internet of value, and the world computer. So I'm never selling my Ethereum. I'm staking it. I'm in some cases using the interest, but that's about it. Ethereum is one of them, my forever holds. Cardano, as a hedge against Ethereum, is one of my forever holds. I think Cardano's doing great work. Why wouldn't I have confidence in Cardano? Theta is a forever hold for me, or at least a very long-term hold, and it went down just to ridiculous proportions. Maybe you guys scoop some up with some great Theta discounts that we saw recently. CRO, because I'm a big user of the Crypto.com app, so CRO is something that I'm holding for the very, very, very long term. Then we have VeChain. That's probably something I'll be holding on extremely long term, if not forever. And Chainlink. Those are the ones that I'm extremely bullish on that I don't really think I'm ever going to sell. Just my personal point of view, but all this to say that if the market goes down, I'll play with some of those to the extent that I can, but it's all about stacking sats and accumulating more GUI. So for the sake of argument, if we do have this bull trap right now that we're seeing, if we do continue to go down, all this to say DeFi isn't going anywhere. That's kind of been maybe a sub theme of today's video. DeFi is not going anywhere at all. It's here to stay. Don't despair. Don't over leverage yourself. Play the market and go with the trend. That's the best advice that I have, despite the fact that it is not financial advice. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get to today's $50 winner of Ethereum. All right, here we are looking at the Altcoin Buzz news homepage here. We put out 2 videos yesterday. So the first of those 2 videos, this one here that I'm hovering over, make sure you guys can see, this is the first video. So we always make sure we draw the winners from among the comments of the first video of the day. You can take a look at this video, by the way, if you haven't already. I went on a bit of a rant about how you got to be effectively fearful when others are greedy and vice versa. Greedy when others are fearful. I think that's played out today. So to the extent that any of you have been able to capitalize on that, congratulations. Once again, guys, we're doing this as part of, not an awareness, I was going to say awareness campaign, I guess like a publicity campaign of sorts, a modern day YouTube version of that. Anyway, we're trying to drum up more support, more subscribers for this new channel, Altcoin Buzz News, which is kind of a spin-off, right, versus some of the other content that we're creating on the main channel. So in order to participate in these Ethereum giveaways, you got to, number one, like the video. Not all of you guys are doing that, I'm sorry to observe. Some of you are commenting but not liking the video. 63 likes to, what is it now? 228 comments. So you guys are great at commenting, but not so much at liking the video. I do implore you, I'm asking you to help us out, like the video as well as comment on it. So again, in order to win the $50 or to be eligible, like the video, comment with the letters ETH, that's ETH, or the word Ethereum, and number 3, subscribe, of course, to this new channel, Altcoin Buzz News. So I'm going to go ahead and take the URL of this video. I'm going to copy that. Again, this is the one that was posted yesterday, the first of 2 videos. Go over here to raffle-.com, and as long as the comment contains the letters ETH or the word Ethereum, and it's not somebody that's previously won, and it's not somebody that's like a comment spammer, then we'll have a new winner. And they are, yes, Xenomorph with, what is that, a donkey? I like that thumbnail image there, that profile pic. Cool. ETH, I'm in. Indeed, Xenomorph, which I guess is a reference to what, the old Aliens movie, the James Cameron's ones. I really liked Prometheus. Let me know what you thought about that. The last one, Alien Covenant, not so much. That was a bit of a letdown. I'm curious to know your thoughts about that. Xenomorph, assuming you are a fan. So you won $50 worth of ETH. Please go back to yesterday's video, specifically this one. So be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Please go back, find your comment, and then respond to your own comment with this profile, Xenomorph, with your address to which you'd like us to send you your $50 worth of Ethereum. Congratulations, Xenomorph. It's just that easy, guys. You may as well throw your hat into the running and be part of the competition. Very simple. We're doing this for another couple of weeks. As always, guys, I recommend you follow us on all the regular social media channels. Keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications if you enjoyed this video. And none of this is financial advice, but best of luck, genuinely, if you do choose to invest. Watch out for that bull trap and let me know whether or not you think that's a possibility. Guys, have a wonderful Thursday. Stay safe. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.